I took mushrooms alone, and the TV showed me the future. This was supposed to be a quiet, uneventful night. I hadn't tripped in months, and I had an eighth of mushrooms sitting in a drawer since my birthday. I figured, why not now? I'd been stressed, worn out, cycling through work, bills, doom scrolling, and sleepless nights like they were a playlist. Mushrooms had always helped in the past. Some laughter, some introspection, a good cry if I was lucky. And by morning, the world would feel less like it was trying to kill me. So I prepped the apartment, dimmed lights, made a comfy nest of pillows and blankets in the living room, lit a candle and queued up some ambient music. I even had my journal out to record insights, because when you're sober, you think you'll be writing down the secrets of the universe. Never mind the fact that during the actual trip, you'll forget how pens work. I chewed the mushrooms around 7:30 p.m. They tasted like stale dirt and packing peanuts. I washed them down with water, sat on the floor, and waited. About 40 minutes later, it started to build. The soft hum of come-up jitters in my chest. The texture of the carpet growing suspiciously. Alive. The walls gently swaying like they were listening to their own slow jazz. At first it was fun, harmless. My cat was giving me side-eye like she'd seen this movie before. I laughed at the word cordless. I laid back and watched the ceiling tiles perform an interpretive dance. That's when I noticed the TV screen flicker. It was off. I hadn't touched the remote. No sound, no startup chime, just a faint light and then click, and the screen turned on. I assumed it was one of those smart TV updates that come at you uninvited, but the screen wasn't showing a logo. It was showing me, sitting on the floor, right where I was. Except, the me on the screen moved first. He blinked before I did. He turned his head to the left, and then I turned mine. I didn't react at first. My brain just couldn't. I thought maybe it was a laggy camera app, or a reflection. But then I raised my hand, slowly, and Screen Me had already done it. I stood up. He was already standing. I turned around. He'd already turned. My laughter caught in my throat. It wasn't funny anymore. It was off. I leaned in toward the screen and stared at my other self, and he looked back at me, just calm, like this was normal. Then he smiled, and I hadn't. I told myself it was just the mushrooms. Time distortion is a known thing. You can loop, see yourself from different angles. But then I noticed something small but chilling. He wasn't wearing my hoodie. I was. Red hoodie, soft cotton, front pocket. But Screen Me had taken his off. He was sitting cross-legged in a plain black t-shirt. I looked down, still in the hoodie. I looked back up and Screen Me stood, smiled again, and walked out of frame. I didn't move. I was frozen. My mouth was dry, my hands were clammy. I grabbed the remote and powered off the TV. The screen went black. I sat down again, heart thumping. I told myself, trip logic, hallucination, let it pass, don't spiral. Then the TV turned back on. No startup logo, no sound, just a new angle, this time from the kitchen, my kitchen. And I was in it, pouring a glass of water, except I hadn't moved. I was still on the floor. I turned and looked at the kitchen. Empty. Then, without thinking, I stood. My legs felt like marionette strings. I walked into the kitchen, picked up a glass. I was now mimicking what I had just seen, or rather, I was obeying it. I tried to stop my hand. I couldn't. The glass slipped, shattered. Cold water hit my foot. I flinched, looked at the screen. My doppelganger just stared, still. His smile was gone. He wasn't pouring water. He was watching me. Then the screen blinked black. I backed away. The silence was so loud, it rang in my ears. Then one word appeared in white text. "Hello." I stared, stunned. Then the words changed. "Are you ready yet?" Then again, "You've been here before." I yanked the power cord from the back of the TV. Nothing. The screen stayed on. My hands were shaking now. My mouth was whispering, "Nope, nope, nope, nope," like a prayer. I turned away from the TV and froze. My apartment window looked out onto a narrow fire escape, usually empty. But tonight, standing there, was me. Same face, same build, no shirt, smiling, motionless. I screamed, I think. I stumbled backward, knocking over a side table, crashing onto the couch. My legs were jelly. My breath came in gasps. I closed my eyes tight. "It's not real. It's not real. It's not real." I peeked again. Empty fire escape. Just rain-specked glass. I looked at the TV. Black. Silent. I waited. 5 minutes. Maybe 10. No movement. Then flicker. The screen returned, but this time it showed the couch. The exact spot I was sitting. Except, no one was there. The couch was empty. I was still watching the feed of the room, just minus me. I stood. On the screen, nothing. I moved to the left. Still no version of me appeared. The camera wasn't lagging. It was erasing. Then I heard it. Whispering. Not in the room. Inside the walls. Breathy, like a voice without a mouth. He's watching now. I turned. No one. You can't hide anymore. I grabbed my shoes, no socks, and bolted. I ran down the hallway of my building barefoot, adrenaline drowning out the come-down. I didn't stop until I hit the 24-hour gas station 5 blocks away. I stood under fluorescent lights pretending to browse gum and sunflower seeds while trying not to cry. The cashier asked if I needed help. I told her, "I'm just thirsty." I bought a bottle of water and sat on the curb outside for what felt like an hour. Eventually, I walked back. Everything looked normal. Apartment door unlocked. Inside dark. Tava off. Hoodie on the floor. Glass cleaned up. That's the part I can't shake. I don't remember cleaning it, but the shards were in the trash. The water wiped up. The towel folded. I picked up my phone. Dead battery. No messages. No timeline. I crawled into bed fully dressed and stared at the ceiling until the sun came up. The next day, I plugged the TV back in. Just a normal screen. No strange feeds. No weird text. Just HDMI 1. It asked me to connect to Wi-Fi, like it had never been set up before. I haven't tripped since. Haven't watched TV in the dark since either. But sometimes, in quiet moments, brushing my teeth or walking past mirrors, I swear I see it again. A version of me that's just a little ahead, a blink early, a step quicker. I think about that message a lot. Are you ready yet? And I wonder, what happens when I say yes?